Behind me is the brand new Sunseeker 65 Sport Yacht. Now the Sport Yacht range aims to deliver sort of the looks, style of a sports cruiser, but with a flybridge of sorts. And stick with me to the end of this tour because this flybridge really does have a surprise in store. But we'll do the whole thing. We'll start here at the back. Now this boat's available with IPS only, IPS 1200 or 1350. With those larger 1350s it'll do 36 knots. And if you drop that speed to 10 knots, you've got a cruising range of around 750 nautical miles. It's a quite flexible performance of what you think on the outside is a pure sports boat. Obviously back here you have this vast tender garage. There's enough space in here for a Williams 345. As you see on this side they've got the sea bob, but as well as having the garage, there's the option to have a shower up here, as you can see in this moulding. There's also a high-low bathing platform which has got steps built in. So with that open, the toys all laid out, platform down, you can see this would be a really nice place to spend time when you want to play by the water. And what's really nice is this aesthetic teak has given them the flexibility to be able to have this cascade effect all the way down the steps on both sides. It looks really, really good. It's a really nice effect. There's access up onto the boat from both sides of the cockpit. And you walk past the stern gear, of course, nice big cleats here. Then as you move up, you've got cleats up here through these multi-directional fair leads. And the detailing seems really, really good on this boat. They've got these lovely solid stainless steel boarding gates. They've even gone to the bother of putting stainless steel plates on top of this little lid for the rope's ends. You know, small things, but does make a big difference in the overall appeal of the boat. Now, as you can see, you have full walk around decks, but with this seating arrangement, you can't get into the cockpit from this side, so you walk all the way around the boat. If we head forward, again, just note this lovely Sunseeker branded grate in the deck here for the deck drains. Amazing glass area on this boat. Just look at the size of these windows here at the side. They are absolutely enormous. So the guardrails are a little bit low. They're sort of down at knee level for me, but you can still grab them easy enough if you need to steady yourself. And note that actually it's solid stainless all the way around. You haven't got a cable running down this middle section. Up here at the foredeck, this is a really nice living area, really exposed. Obviously, if you want to sunbathe, this is a great place to be. And they've got this design line, this black design line, one piece of moulding that goes all the way along here, up the side of the boat and to the stern. It's a really lovely bit of design, but it does mean that you have to step over both sides to use this Portuguese bridge area here. Some manufacturers may put a gate in there or leave it broken, but Sunseeker wanted to continue that unbroken line front to back. It does look good, but it just means you've got this step here. These sunbathers got backrests that lift up, so you can be a bit more comfortable when you're using them. You've also got this nice deep sofa here as well, and one detail I quite like is that you've got a phone charging station up here, so you can stick your phone on charge and know that it's securely held in place. Those scan strap chargers are really, really good. Right forward, obviously, you have your anchor locker, access to the anchor winch, chain. And this is a fantastic view of this boat, minus my shadow. But here you can really drink in that amazing frameless windscreen. It's the biggest frameless windscreen that Newmar have made for Sunseeker. Amazing to get a curved single piece of glass that size. It's wonderful. Then you can see the sunroof that pops up, and that's a benefit of the Sport Yacht design. You have a flybridge, but you also have a sunroof. It's a bit of a best of both worlds. And then we have the really petite flybridge, which keeps this boat's profile amazingly neat. We'll have a proper look at that later on. So we continue around the decks. And no side door, but you have got an opening window here, so even though you can't get out onto deck from this helm, you can at least have a bit of ventilation and communicate with your crew using that window. There's that big styling line that just gets thicker and thicker and thicker and runs towards the stern of the boat. And then we're into the cockpit proper, which has this lovely big sweep of seating, really comfortable. Obviously the table can be doubled in size. This leaf folds out so you have an even bigger table. And this is access to a crew cabin. Lift that up. And down there is a crew space, which we'll have a proper look at later on. You don't have to have that, you can just have storage if you want. But most people have opted for the crew cabin. It's just a bit more useful to have the extra berth. We'll have a proper look later. And this design is quite familiar to Sunseekers. You have the doors that slide across to one side, 2 panes that side, and then this section drops down into the deck. There's a button down here to control it, and you can either seal it off completely or have it open like this. In this way, with no threshold between the 2 areas, you've got a really nice flow between the 2 areas. Lovely big wrap of seating here. And what you can do, Manhattan style, is get rid of this bench and have some bar stools here in front of this area, which works quite nicely. But personally, I really like this area where you can tuck yourself in the corner, protected from the elements, whether the boat's moving along or not. That would be a really nice place to sit. Into the saloon, and what you notice is the detailing. I love the lighting here. These spotlights look great. You've got strip lighting as well. The look and feel of these handles is really, really nice. This is where you've got your refrigeration on this side. And just note the detailing that you've got this inset stainless steel here. The way this handhold sort of pops out the counter looks really nice. And then you have the main bulk of the galley on this side. You've got Miele cooking here. This boat's got a dishwasher. You've got some storage at eye level. This is for the boat's crockery. And then on this side there's more storage here for glassware, cutlery, etc. Really nice open saloon, and it's really bright as well. Got these massive panes of glass on either side, and of course you've got the sunroof. As I said, another benefit of the Sports Bridge is that you get this piece of glass as well, which opens, and you get even more natural light pouring into this area. New material here for Sunseeker, looks really good, probably a bit more practical than leather. And you've got this massive great table as well, which actually opens up like this and slides across to go to that size. It drops up and down as well, so you can easily adjust the height. If you want it as a coffee table, a bit lower or a bit higher if you're going to use it to dine. And from inside here, this is where that piece of glass is most striking. And what's most impressive is it doesn't mean, even though there's no support down the middle of this screen, that these mullions are huge. I mean, they're relatively large, but they're not enormous given the size of the screen that they're supporting. So that's really, really nice. And how far forward this screen goes down the starboard side. So you shouldn't have much of a blind spot when you're out at sea. And on the port side, this is just big, unbroken window. And as I mentioned when we were on the decks, you've got your sliding window here. So that's electric, gets you a bit of natural ventilation as well as the roof. Really nice helm setup down here. Again, you've got these sort of analog looking but digital dials, twin screens, really well presented. And though they're quite a long way from the helm seat, you have this panel down here, Garmin panel, so you can control the screens from your seat. And of course you've got a repeater for your IPS joystick that controls the dials, and you've got your throttles here. Lovely seats as well, fully adjustable. You can see here, electrically adjustable seats. They look really good and they're very, very comfortable. Driving position upstairs is probably where you want to be most of the time, but if you had to be tucked down here, it's a really, really nice environment. So move downstairs. This is a really nice wide staircase. Again, a handhold just sort of emerges from the unit here, works nicely, and then you've got the banister down here with a bit of glass. And even here, look, they've got stainless inset in the woodwork. It's lovely stuff. We'll head straight forward to the VIP cabin. This of course has got an ensuite, and it's a good size as well. Rain shower head up there in the ceiling. And then you're into the bulk of the cabin. Which is a really good size, plenty of headroom in here. I'm just at the end of the bed here and you can see plenty of space above my head. You've got big hull windows on both sides with opening ports, so there's some natural ventilation. And look, this is a nice touch. You've got phone charging inset inside these leather inserts on both sides. So if you've got a phone that has wireless charging, you don't have wires dangling everywhere, that works really, really well. And actually, if you have got a phone that needs a plug, you've got plugs set in here. So they've thought of everything. And again, that motif that we've seen throughout the boat is repeated on the bed head. Works really nicely. Good storage in here. A big double wardrobe, auto illuminated. And then on this side, you have a little bureau, big mirror as well for when you're getting ready. That's really useful. And this cabin has its own television, which is a really good size for VIP. Very luxurious cabin. Again, detailing. These door handles are lovely. The doors are really, really hefty, feeling real good quality. And again, you just got this inset here, just make things a bit more interesting. And to starboard, you have a twin cabin here. Got 2 single berths. Again, you've got wireless charging in the middle there, inset to that leather tray, and another really good storage area. Big wardrobe here. And this cabin has its own ensuite as well. Not quite as large as the VIP, but really not bad when you consider you have a separate day heads as well. So we go over this side. This is just a day head, so this is just a toilet for use in the day. But considering every cabin has got its own bathroom, that is a particularly luxurious touch. No shower in there, as I said, but just a toilet and a really nice basin. All of this is so beautifully finished. Villeroy Bosch sink. Looks lovely. Now there's a lot of variation in this area of the boat. So as you see it here, this is a sort of extra storage space, sort of basic galley. You've also got your washer dryer over here. This has got some more cooling space in it, in this particular guise. You've got a wine cooler there. Got an ice maker here. More storage. Just, you know, if you're going to be using the boat for a long time, then this sort of stuff is really useful. However, you can also have a fourth cabin here. So you could have a bunk in there. The other option is you can see the master cabin door is there. Well, instead of having it there, you can have it here, across here, to give you what they call the Grand Master. So this all opens up, and this is all now master cabin, and you can have a study in here, a bureau, a dressing area, and that would feel really, really luxurious. You know, as the owner, you'd have a really wonderful extended cabin to enjoy. So really impressive, you know, what they can achieve with this boat. It's obviously a production boat, but there's plenty of variety in the layout depending on how you're going to use the boat. We move into the master cabin, and it really is lovely. Absolutely stonking headroom, totally flat floor. You've got a breakfast dinette on this side, but you can have repeated storage here if you think the storage is more useful and you won't use that area. I actually think this is quite a nice spot to have in your cabin. If you do want to have a coffee in the morning away from guests, then you can be down here with that view out over the water. Again, detailing is lovely. Look at all the different textures, colours in the ceiling. That motif appears again. Backlit, you've got your bedside table here with the tray again with inset wireless charging controls for the air conditioning and heating. And this is all just storage on this side. But you know, not just plain cabinets. They've got this inset detail as well. Looks lovely. Lighting's really nice throughout, as I said, strip lighting. You've got backlighting here behind the windows. You don't see the best of it in the day, but at night this thing looks absolutely sensational. And just look at the size of the television. Huge. You have storage on both sides. There's a wardrobe behind the door when you come in. There's also a wardrobe behind the bathroom door here, and then you're into the bathroom, which again is a really lovely space. It's got a nice big window so you can ventilate here if you're having a shower. Again, all of the equipment is really, really high quality, and a big separate shower cubicle with a rain shower head. This is a really luxurious cabin. In fact, the accommodation on this boat is pretty outstanding. So we wind our way back up. Now I said we'd have a closer look at this area. And what's quite nice is that the stairway lifts up like this, and do it with one hand, clips into place, and that means that you've got much easier access to the crew cabin, and it just means that there's a bit more space to work around this area, because this is the captain's cabin, which I'll get into now. It's a little bit of a squeeze to get down, but actually once you're in here, it's surprisingly spacious. The toilet is hidden down here. They have controls for their own air conditioning in here. You've got some sockets down here. Single berth. Actually got a screen for the seakeeper, so you can remotely control the stabilisation from down here. Got a reading light over the bed there. Some ventilation. And then a sink. And actually, considering the size of the boat, headroom is really pretty good down here. You can stand up fully. It's relatively comfortable. And actually an option, you know, on the odd occasion if you want to have guests down here as well, would just about do the job. Let's get back out of here. Then on the port side down here, aft behind the boarding gate, is where you have access to the engine room. Now we're at a boat show, so there's a bit of kit down here. They've had to store some covers and things down here, but you can get an idea of the setup down here. And one of the downsides of having the tender garage is that you don't get a huge amount of clearance over the engines. Either side is absolutely fine. You can get right round the other side of the starboard engine there. It's actually relatively easy, and you can drop down between the engines as well, because you drop down to the hull there, so you can get between them relatively easy, but there isn't a huge amount of clearance above them. But these are the largest IPS 1350s here. As I said, top speed 35, 36 knots. Now I think we have to wrap things up in the Flybridge, don't we, because this is the place to be. Okay, we'll save the best till last. Now I know there are 65 footers with larger Flybridges in this. You can have seating here if you prefer over the sun pad. But it's all about this helm position. I mean, just look at that. Have you ever seen a cooler helm station? Look at these Besons-only seats, amazing, slender bucket seats. And then, when you sit in them, it is the most extraordinary driving position. So I get my feet out in front of me. It's like sitting in a supercar. You sit low, your arms are close to you, your feet are stretched out, and you have this amazing view down that bow. Even better, if you've got the sunroof shut, it's even better. Adjustable wheel, I might drop the wheel down a bit actually. That's good. It is just the most incredible way to sit and drive a boat of this size. 2,000 horsepower beneath you. Under your hand here, this is sort of aircraft style central console with your controls for the MFD. You've got phone charging here. This is like BMW's iDrive, and this controls these two. Well, they look analog, but they're sort of part analog, part digital instruments here. They look great. They're mirrored downstairs, and you can have various different readouts, and you control those by twisting and clicking on this dial here. As you can see, it's just spinning this through rudder angle, knots, course over ground, etc. They're lovely, look great, but this is the position. There's just nothing like it. It's an extraordinary place to drive a boat of this size from. It shrinks it around you. It feels like you're driving a go-kart. It's such a cool idea. I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to try it out on the water. But here's the other thing. You've got joystick here, IPS joystick. You're going to be using this close quarters. You don't really want to be sat down like I am now. However, Sunseeker have thought of that, and this could be a little tricky to do with one hand, but I'll give it a go. There's a button here which you push, and then the whole thing comes up. May have looked a bit clunky, but now I can stand with my joystick. I'm standing now, and I can see down this side the very edge of the bathing platform. I can still hold the joystick, and I can obviously see the bow really well. So if you're coming in to a mooring, coming alongside for fuel, you've got your IPS joystick here. This again is a great place to control the boat from. They really have thought of everything, and the way that this transforms seems a simple idea. It works absolutely brilliantly. Top marks to Sunseeker for this. This is genuinely interesting, fresh thinking. I absolutely love it. Can't wait to give it a go out on the water. So there you have it. That's the tour of the Sunseeker Sport Yacht 65. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, we are going to sea trial this boat, so look out for that video coming up soon. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please give it a like if you did, and remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time we upload a new video. See you on the next one.